Hi guys, Simon here from HobbyKing.com, and today I've got to show you the diversity setup for the Fatshark goggles. It's the HB5808 FS diversity module. Now this is a 40 channel module in diversity, so it covers the A, B, E, F and C band, and C being a race band. Now the setup here is, what I've done is I've just taken away two of the module bays here. Now what I do, and there's a couple of different options here, what I do is I put a little bit of Velcro behind both sides of the modules to actually just keep them in place if you're swapping out modules, which I do a fair bit, or you can just use double-sided mounting tape which will secure these in. You don't need a lot, but just a little bit, just for safety's sake, so these modules will stay in place when you're actually flying. So I've taken away the two trays here, and you can see here I've just been able to slip that in with some Velcro behind, like I said, and run the cable around the front of the goggles, and then with the extra cable I've just tucked that in behind, and it's a pretty clean setup. With the extra cable length, you're able to actually also, if you wanted to, mount the wire inside the goggles, so you can actually just route this inside the goggles, and you've got a bit of wire there to actually do the installation really neat, which gives you a couple of different options as well. So just on the module itself, I just run through some of the features. Now this module doesn't have the little scroll wheel, it actually has the three buttons. So that will be the up, down and set button in the middle there. Now these modules have a really fast boot up time. Some modules that I've tested actually take a little while to actually boot up. These boot up in a matter of seconds. So with the connection side of it, they're SMA connectors on both sides, so you can put in your favorite antennas. Up the top here, so you've got the SMA connector on both sides. Down the bottom there's a little USB port, so that will be used for future firmware updates, and then there's the OLED display. So what I'll do is I'll just run around the other side of the table here and just boot these things up, so then we can run through some of the menu items. So I'm just going to boot up this module now, and just power this up, and it comes up with the Quanum logo. As I mentioned, there's three buttons here. The top one is for up, the bottom one is for down, and then the center one is the menu or confirm button. So I just go into the middle button here, which will bring up the menu, and then the top feature there is that auto search. So I do have a quad powered up in the background here. So if I just do an auto search, and it'll just scan through the spectrum, and then it'll show me the channels. So it's landed on F3, and that has been selected now, so I can just go and fly. Now the next one down in the menu here is just the band scan. So this will just scan the entire spectrum and then just find the actual channels, so you can actually see who's flying on what channel before you actually went and flew yourself. Next item is the manual mode. So the manual mode is basically manual channel selection. So that's on band A, and then obviously just up is going to change it to different bands. Now also in manual mode is you can actually set up a favorite channel. So if you wanted this to be powered up and you wanted to start it on F1, you can just hold that button down and they'll actually save that as a favorite channel. So next time when you boot these goggles up, they'll actually land on that channel. Next menu item is the diversity. So you can either choose if you want it auto switching, or if you actually just want to choose receiver A or receiver B. But for diversity, you basically want to have that in auto mode. Then there's the setup menu. So this first item there is the order. So most people would want to see this in channel order, but you can change this to have frequency order. Then when you actually scan through the channels, it's going to switch between different bands and different channels based on the frequency number. But most people will actually use this in channel selection mode, or keep it in the same band, but it will just go up in the different channels. You can put your own call sign on this. It comes default with Quanum brand on there, but you can change that to whatever you wanted. Calibrate RSSI. What you would normally do with this, you would have no antennas attached to it, and then you would calibrate the RSSI just to get the two modules working together. Then when you've done all that, you can then just save and exit, and that will just save all the channels, give you a confirmation of what you've actually done. So I have another patch antenna. I only have one antenna mounted at the moment, so it's basically on module A on F3, and then when I plug in this other antenna, you can see it just switching over to the different modules. And the little LED indicator light there will switch over from A to B. So what's included in the package? Of course, you'll get the two diversity modules. You'll also get the connection cable and a little instruction manual. Now there's really great pricing on these, and these will be available in selected regional warehouses and also the international warehouse. The products will be linked down below in the video description. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates, and until next time, see you later.